What is going on, everybody? I am back today to talk about a brand new movie starring Bill Skarsgård and Anthony Hopkins. And I saw the trailer for this movie a few times when I saw a couple of things at the theater. And I'll be honest, it didn't really pique my interest all that much. But with talent like Bill Skarsgård and Anthony Hopkins, it's difficult not to want to jump in and watch something like this immediately, even if the trailer comes across as kind of underwhelming. And I didn't know much about it other than it's a guy locked in a car. I didn't really know what the movie was trying to go for with it, but I went in and watched it anyway. And the film I'm going to be discussing with you today is Locked. Locked is directed by David Yarovesky. When Eddie breaks into a luxury SUV, he steps into a deadly trap set by William, a self-proclaimed vigilante delivering his own brand of twisted justice with no means of escape. Eddie must fight to survive in a ride where escape is an illusion, survival is a nightmare, and justice shifts into high gear. So, like I said, the trailer didn't look great to this movie, but there's two incredible talents of actors in this, so I was hoping it would be something I appreciate. And this movie is terrible. This is in contention for one of the worst things I've watched all year long. This is like some of the most laughably bad writing that I've seen in a movie in quite some time. Somehow you have two incredible actors that give two awful performances. Like the delivery of lines in this movie, and especially Bill Skarsgård, who his character is supposed to be going through this really terrible, horrific experience. I didn't believe that for a second in this. And a lot of it's due to whatever this caricature he's trying to play is. And the political messaging of this movie, while important and a subject that needs to be discussed, is done in such a ham-fisted, uninspiring, preachy way that outside of the people who already have a belief system in the fact that the 1% take advantage of people in the lower class and the lower class are profiled and stereotyped, you're not going to get anything out of this. It's not going to sit or resonate with you in a way that'll last. And I'll talk about that more when I break the movie down for you today. So, at the beginning of the movie, we're introduced to Eddie, played by Bill Skarsgård, and he's going through a lot at the beginning of the movie. He's in a fight with his partner. They have a daughter together, and he ends up picking his daughter up from school because he's trying to get his car picked up from a repair shop. He does deliveries for work, and it's the only way he can make money, and he doesn't have enough money to pay for the repairs on his van to do his deliveries. And so he's kind of just losing it, and he gets into a fight with his girlfriend on the phone. They hang up, and he's like, I got to figure out a way to make money to get my van back. And so he decides to go try and steal some stuff. He tries to steal a wallet. He goes about trying to do all these different things, and eventually he stumbles upon this luxury SUV after trying to break into a few different cars. And he gets in there, the door's unlocked. He starts searching for anything of value, can't find anything, and he tries to get out of the car, and the car is locked. And he tries to break open the window. He tries to do everything that he possibly can, and he can't get out. Eventually, the phone in the car rings, and it's William, played by Anthony Hopkins, who is the owner of the car. And he essentially says, I'm going to teach you your lesson. People have taken from me my whole life, and essentially gives him this whole spiel about, bucketing all poor or lower class people together, and that he's going to teach him a lesson. And the entirety of the film is Eddie trapped inside this car trying to figure out all of William's motivations and how he could fight for survival. So, like I said, this movie is awful. It's one of the worst things that I've watched all year round. I don't really have any positives to say with this other than the cinematography. The cinematographer working with the director does the best job possible to try to create a confined sense of space, because you're all in a car pretty much the entire movie. They don't cut away very often. And so because of that, he does a really nice job portraying like claustrophobia, the dangers that exist for our lead character. And I think that helps with some of the moments, making it more watchable. If the cinematography wasn't as good, this movie would be just downright terrible. But that's really the only positive that I have for this movie. Bill Skarsgård gives a really bad performance in this. He tries very hard, but like whatever this like voice he's trying to do and playing into this character, it doesn't work. I also felt like all of his emotion whenever he was trying to be serious about like thinking about his daughter, or even his reactions to like There's a scene where someone gets killed. It just didn't feel authentic. And Bill is such an amazing actor, and I really can't understand why he was in this movie because like he's done so many great projects, and he just really doesn't do much in this at all. Anthony Hopkins also is just whatever in this. It's really just him rambling for an hour and a half about how much he hates poor people, and that becomes just grating and irritating after a while. And even in the end, when he has more screen time, I just didn't care. I like he's getting older now, so I'm sure like the projects that he's picking, it's very specific. But yeah, I just didn't find anything to be all that interesting about his performance. I also feel like the pacing in this, obviously it's a character trapped in a car, but I don't feel like the stakes get high enough for it to stay engaging. Like I think about a lot of movies that I've watched, even in the past couple years, a movie like Inside with Willem Dafoe, the stakes are so much higher and the situations that they put his character in keep the movie enthralling. I feel like this, it's like the most base level, like always turning the air conditioning up. You might freeze to death overnight. And like there's little things, but I just didn't find it to be enough. Like you've got to make it to where it's really heart pounding, gripping, and thrilling, especially when you're trapping a character in a car for an entire movie. And it just didn't work for me in that regard. And the biggest part of this movie is obviously it's trying to be a larger allegory for the mistreatment of poor people, the stereotypes surrounding poor or lower class individuals, and how the 1% looks at lower class individuals. And then if people come into contact with someone from the lower class and they've been impacted by theft or things of that nature, that because of that, they stereotype an entire group of people, which, like I said at the beginning of the review, incredibly important. We live in a society right now. If you are a United States citizen, president of the United States of America, he is incredibly wealthy. He's lived his entire life without having to do a lick of work. He had everything in his life handed to him by his parents. And he looks at you the same way that Anthony Hopkins looks at the character in this movie. He does not care about poor people. He does not care about people in the lower class. And that's a very important message. But the problem is it's done in a way here that's like almost laughably bad. Like at the beginning of the movie, there's all of these shots of just like people in a lower income area sitting outside or like having interactions, and it almost looked like stock footage. It didn't even look like the cinematographer actually shot it in comparison to how great the shots looked when they were in the car. And like every line of dialogue in this, it's so incredibly preachy in a way like it's not gonna work with audiences that lean to the other side. Like most of the people who watch this movie are probably going to be people that agree that poor people aren't treated correctly and that there's a lot of stereotypes surrounding the lower class or the poorer communities. And so you're watching this and you're just like, you're saying the same thing for an hour and a half and not doing it in a way that's interesting or engaging enough that it will sit with you more than 10 minutes after the movie is over, which makes the thing a real slog to get through. Like the whole time I'm watching the movie, I'm like, this is just miserable. Like sitting through this, I'm not getting anything out of it. Like this is something I already believe in, and because of the way it's portrayed in such a grating and irritating manner, especially like Anthony Hopkins has some really bad dialogue in this movie, like horrible dialogue that just doesn't work at all. And then like Bill Skarsgård's response to a lot of it is even worse. And I don't have much more to say about this movie. It's just bad. I mean, like, honestly, if it was gonna just be an hour and a half long thriller of a guy trapped in a car, even without the, like, overblown political message that's handled in a really sloppy, lazy way, I would have found it to be entertaining, but, like, they just mismanage every single moment in this to make it just borderline unwatchable. And I will never watch or think about this movie again. So have you seen Locked? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Leave me a comment down below and let me know what you thought. I thought this movie was really bad. I thought the performances were bad. I thought the pacing was really bad. And I thought the attempt at a really important political message was handled in a very sloppy way. As always, if you can like the video and subscribe to the channel, helps me out a lot and lets me know the type of content you're looking for. I'm always putting out new material and look forward to getting more out for you in the near future. And as always, everyone, thank you so much for watching and have a great rest of your day.